Tremor by John Tarrant. Tremor.
Oh, Mal, did you hear that?
Huh?
Oh, wake up and listen.
I can't hear anything. Except some brutes howling.
There was a noise. I think it was in the workroom.
Rodents stamping around. Go to sleep, Evis.
No, there's something wrong. Look at the way that lamp's swinging.
A draught from the window.
But there's no wind tonight. Mel, go and see what's happened.
Oh. Horrible time to be prowling around the premises. I was nearly asleep.
Anything wrong?
There's a salver on the floor in the workroom. Nothing else is out of place as far as I can see.
Why should a thing like that fall off a shelf in the middle of the night? And why did that lamp start swinging?
I don't know. I see the lights are on at the croft.
Could you give them a call?
At this time of night?
They won't mind. Somebody's obviously still awake.
They'll probably think we're demented. What are you so worried about?
You know what I'm afraid of.
That we've slipped over the brink at last?
Well, yes. It could happen like this, without warning, late at night when everyone's asleep.
For the last 2 generations, it could have happened at any time of the day or night. You'd only need some mad fool to press the knob and destroy everything and all of us.
But why would it start here? Why would anybody want to destroy an island as small as this?
We're not likely to be a target, but the mainland is only 50 miles away.
Would we feel the effect over here?
Blast, perhaps. Other things, I don't know. I think it depends on prevailing winds. Switch on the speaker. Sounds very much as usual, but if you're really nervous, I'll call the croft.
Oh, I wish you would.
Hello, Raoul, it's Mel. I'm sorry to call you in the middle of the night.
That's all right. I was up anyway, waiting for one of my herd to calve. Did you feel the earth tremor?
Are you sure that's what it was? We were asleep. We couldn't understand what was happening.
Oh, yes. It's happened before. Twice since the snow's cleared.
Oh.
It's an eerie sensation. I felt dizzy for a moment or two. Everything small on 4 legs began to howl, and that upset the cattle, and we had a proper clamour up here for a while.
Any damage?
Oh, nothing that I could see. I'll have a careful look round in daylight. Your place still standing?
Yes, thanks. Are you going to be up all night?
No, she won't be long now. They're usually born at the turn of the tide.
I hope all goes well.
Thanks, Mel. Good night.
Good night.
What did he say?
Some sort of earth tremor. No need to lose any sleep. He was waiting for a calf.
I've never heard of such things in this part of the world.
I believe that there are slight movements quite often in several places on the mainland. Something to do with faults in the layers of rock. Come on, back to sleep. All be useless in the morning.
Mel, you wanted to listen to the morning bulletin?
Yes. Anything left to quench my thirst?
It's gone cold. I'll make some more.
Despite the steady rise in average temperature, no appreciable change in the sea level has so far been detected. A slight earth tremor was felt shortly after midnight last night in the Western Isles. The epicenter was located in the region of Bellabry. No casualties or serious damage have been reported.
According to Raoul, that's the 3rd tremor in the same area. I wonder if underground workings are changing the pressures.
Perhaps all that ore they're taking from under the seabed.
Yes. Yes, that must have some effect, I suppose.
Have there been any more of those tests underground?
I've not seen or heard anything.
I wonder if they would tell us. Have you had a look round outside?
Not yet. I'll go and look in the granary now. Do you feel like going up to have a look at the new arrival?
Who? Oh, the car. Yes, well, give me a little time to clear up first.
Evis? Can you come out here, please?
What's the matter? What are you doing?
Look at this.
What? What's happened?
Must have been the tremor. It was solid enough yesterday when I was sawing those logs.
If you'd been working in here or come out for wood in the dark...
Yes. A deep hole by the looks of it. I wonder if it could be an old well, covered over with boards or stone slabs that fell in when the ground shook last night. Can you find that big light?
Oh, yes, but keep away from the edge. For all we know, the whole ground could be honeycombed.
Let's try a stone. 1, 2, 3.
Here's the lamp.
This doesn't look like a well. It's not regular enough, more like a natural cleft.
You mean it just opened up last night?
No, I don't think so. These surfaces seem to have some sort of plant growth. I think it's always been there, covered over by a slab of stone. The tremor widened it a bit, and the stone cracked and slipped down the hole.
Any idea how deep it is?
Not really. I'm sure it's a long drop, and it seems to be dry.
So it's not likely to be a well. We'll have to fill it somehow and cover the top with planks.
Before we decide about filling and covering, I think we should take some expert advice.
Well, from what sort of expert?
Someone who's studied rock formation and prehistoric remains.
Arnie?
Yes, he'd do very well if he wasn't on the mainland.
But he's here, taking a rest period. I nearly ran over him 2 days ago.
Oh, did you indeed? Well, I suppose we might as well make use of your old admirers.
He wasn't an admirer. We just happened to live near each other when we were young.
In that case, he sadly neglected his opportunities.
And he hasn't missed much so far, not in his work. A fully qualified expert in his own field, a highly responsible job, all from a standing start, too.
Yes, he's certainly done very well. He makes me feel almost retarded at times.
What nonsense. You know you love teaching. You'd hate his work. I certainly should. Flying all over the Western Isles, sitting on a platform in the middle of the ocean in a howling gale. There's not much of a life if you're hoping to raise a family.
No. But you've heard the saying, giants in the hall of learning, pygmies in the world outside.
That's absolute drivel and malicious as well. We'd still be in the jungle if we couldn't pass on our knowledge and skill.
Yes, that's true enough. I wonder how long we'll be able to pass on what we know.
Do you mean censorship?
No, I was thinking that if they make another mistake with their infernal devices, there may not be anybody left to teach.
A cheering thought to start the day. Get on to Arnie before he goes out. Tell him if he finds anything valuable, we'll share it equally between the three of us.
What do you think it is, Arnie, an old mine shaft?
No, a natural feature, no doubt about that. The strange thing here is that the entrance was first covered and then built over. A granary, was it, when you moved in?
Yes. There was some grain stacked over there in that corner.
But it would not have been difficult to move the grain in an emergency.
What sort of emergency do you mean?
Oh, you're the one who studied history, you tell me.
Well, if you look far enough back, there was always the threat from the sea.
Well, just how did our ancestors cope with raiders?
They had a system of watch and ward, guarding the coast day and night. If there was time, the non-combatants, the flocks and herds, were led away to be hidden and guarded in fortresses in the hills. But here on the coast, they might not get much warning.
So a private shelter could save their lives, if not their property. Yes, it's certainly worth having a closer look.
You mean go down there?
Oh, yes, I've brought my climbing equipment with me.
Suppose there should be another fall.
Well, the rock face looked sound enough. We'll have to make quite sure there's nothing lying near the lip. Can we move this wood?
Yes, of course. There you are.
Well, Arnie, I'm not happy about this. We asked you to look at the shaft in case our home was in danger or anything of archaeological interest appeared. We didn't want you to risk breaking your bones.
Oh, there's nothing to worry about. It's a climbing exercise. Well, more caving, really.
Well, have you done any caving before?
Very little, but I have done a great deal of climbing.
Have you brought everything you need?
I believe so. Except I need something to take my weight and hold fast up here.
That beam?
Good enough. Now, if some sort of problem arises and I have any trouble climbing out, this is the safety line.
Right.
Take the rope around that stake, pay it out slowly, and haul in if you feel 2 sharp pulls.
Very well.
Now, I've no need to warn you about letting anything fall over the edge. I don't want to test this head shield with one of your logs.
We'll be careful.
Now then, down we go.
How does he control his descent?
The rope goes through a ring and over his shoulder.
Can he climb out the same way?
Yes, he's going to use 2 ratchet clamps. And we can help with the safety line.
He would be a caver.
It's not my idea of relaxation. I might risk exploring this one while Arnie's here with all the equipment.
What was that?
Something fell to the bottom. He stopped the safety line slack. His cap light isn't moving.
No signal?
No.
Well, the thing that fell could have injured him.
Give him a while.
We'll have to haul him up.
Wait. No, he's moving. He's going down again. It must be a lot deeper than I thought. Someone's calling.
Shall I answer it?
Yes, we're safe enough here for a few minutes. But leave the door open in case I shout.
Hello?
Evis, it's Raoul.
Oh.
We're just going off to the mart. Is there anything we can get for you?
Oh, no, I don't think so, thank you. We're well organised for once. Did the calf arrive safely?
Oh, yes. Very late, though. Just before dawn. A nice little female.
Mother and child doing well?
Yes, thank you. Oh, while we're on the subject, how's your calving coming on?
What do Oh, I don't think that's very complimentary, but I'm feeling quite fit, thank you. The nest building urge is coming on strong, but there's bound to be a quiet time before hatching.
Did that earth tremor last night do any damage in your area?
Well, not damage exactly. There's some sort of shaft or cave opened up under the old granary. Arnie is down there now exploring with ropes.
What is it, a mine shaft?
But they think it's a natural cavern, covered for some reason and concealed. Do you know anything about the history of this place?
Not much. My grandfather used to say it was a little croft at one time.
And before that?
I don't know. The place isn't all that old. Of course, it would probably have been built on the site of an earlier dwelling. That was always the custom in these parts in the old days.
We'll have to wait and see what Arnie finds down there.
Whatever it was, I shouldn't be in a great hurry to fill it up if I were you. And I should keep very quiet about your find.
Oh? Why?
Well, the way things are going, we might need an underground shelter before we're much older, for one reason or another.
All well?
Yes, he's on his way up. Not far now.
I'm very glad to hear it. Well, is there anything I can do?
Take another turn around that stake in case he should slip, and coil the slack. What did you find down there?
Interesting. Most interesting.
Yeah?
Any treasures?
Let me get my breath back. The shaft broadens out at the bottom into a kind of chamber.
Yes.
There's a pile of loose stone, including several slabs of slate that probably cover the entrance here.
Nothing else?
No. Except this.
Oh.
What is it?
Well, I don't know. One of the slabs must have gouged this out of the floor when it fell.
Peculiar substance. What could it be?
I don't know. I've never seen anything like it before.
It feels resilient.
Yes.
Yeah. If you've no objection, I'd like to take this piece back with me tomorrow, see what the analysts can discover from it.
In the meantime, do you think we should leave the shaft open in case your colleagues want to have another look?
Yes, if we can make sure it's safe. Could we find something to cover it and perhaps put a lock on the door of the granary? We don't want youngsters or animals wandering in here.
I'll see to that.
Is there any sign of caves or clefts extending under the house?
No, there are no side passages at all. I'd say that your house and grounds are standing on solid limestone.
That is good news.
Would it be wise to say nothing about this for the time being, at least until we get the analyst's report? Well, you wouldn't want inquisitive strangers peering into your garden.
No, we would not. Have you spoken about this to anyone, Evis?
Well, I need to rowl up at the croft. He advised us to say nothing for another reason.
Oh, what reason?
He thought we might need a private survival shelter one of these days. Oh, Raoul, come in.
No, thanks. I should carry mud everywhere. I was just passing, and I thought I'd look at this cave of yours, if I may.
Of course. Oh, wait, the door's locked. You'll need the key and the light. Here you are.
Thanks.
There's an old gate covering the hole.
A wise precaution.
We've taken your advice and said nothing about it so far.
I'll leave you to your call.
Thank you. Hello?
Evis, this is Arnie.
Oh, we've been waiting for you to call. What's the news? Are we sitting on a fortune?
I don't think so, but our analysts are showing signs of interest in that sample I found. Would you allow them to have another look and perhaps do some drilling?
Oh, yes, of course. When would they like to come?
Would tomorrow be convenient? Afternoon or early evening?
Tomorrow? Well, you are in a hurry.
Well, I think we have a team free at the moment. By the way, how many actually know about this?
Only you and Raoul up at the croft. Why, have we really found something exciting?
Well, I'm not sure about that. They asked me to keep everything to ourselves. We shall probably find the reason tomorrow, if that's convenient for you.
Oh, yes, I'll be here. Are you coming with them?
Oh, they'd have to put bars around me to keep me away. I'll give you another call when I know the timing.
Good. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow then, Arnie. Bye.
Bye.
Very interesting indeed.
What do you make of it, Raoul?
Well, I've never seen anything like it before. At least not round here. There are plenty of caves in the hills on the mainland where I was reared, but here, no. Well, I know what I'd do if it was under my land.
What's that?
I'd line the side of the shaft with ladders, stock it with provisions, and build a good stout cover for the top.
You really think it's coming?
We had a wonderful harvest this year everywhere. The granaries are full all over the world. If anyone was mad enough to start a war, this is the time he'd choose.
Mel? Mel, you're just in time to see things happen.
Good. How long have they been here?
Well, not very long. I called the lodge, but you just left it. Look at all this equipment. What can it be for?
Drill, compressor, light. Don't know what that is.
Well, they've lowered some sort of wire ladder down the shaft. Oh, here comes Arnie.
Oh, well timed, Mel. We're just ready to begin.
Are you quite sure you know what you're going to do? When you drill into that rock, couldn't it release a gush of oil or gas or water?
Not in limestone at this depth.
That sample you took to the analysts, have they told you what they found?
Yes. That's why we're here.
Well, speak up. What was it?
They don't know themselves. They've never seen anything quite like it before.
What do you mean? Are you saying that it's some rare type of rock or lava or mineral?
Not rock. In fact, it's nothing that occurs normally in nature. The substance is an artifact. It's synthetic.
Synthetic? Deep in the earth, under buildings that have stood here for generations. I don't understand.
Oh, nor does anyone else. Oh, shall we have a closer look, see if we can find the answer?
Mel?
Yes?
Be careful.
Oh, Mel, this is Teo, the technician in charge of the drilling equipment.
Hello, Teo.
Yeah. So, everything ready?
Yes, start whenever you like.
Switch on. Lights.
Looks like an ice cavern with all those pillars of limestone.
Well, let's hope we find something really valuable. Ready, Teo?
Yeah. Keep that line taut. Oh. Don't like these wire ladders. We should have brought a safety basket and a winding reel.
If you'd like to have a look below, Mel, this is your chance while all the equipment is here.
Then how will you get down?
Read my line through that block, and you two can pay out from below.
Ingenious. Shall I go now?
No, not yet. We'll wait until Teo's down. Lower the equipment, then you follow. I'll come in as a rear guard.
What's that?
Are you through?
Yeah. Yeah, no resistance.
Gas whistling out? Can't smell anything.
Air. But it's not coming out, it's whistling in.
Lower pressure inside?
Some sort of vacuum. Were there any secret establishments around here during the wars?
Nothing I ever heard of. Except a tracking station on the coast at Scarlet.
Oh, that'd all be above ground. Well, there's only one way to go from here.
Where's that?
Down. Open it up, whatever it is, and have a look inside.
You, don't want to call the centre and wait for orders?
No, I think we'll explore a stage further. Look, can you cut a hole big enough to slip a light inside?
Well, if you're sure that's what should be done, it'll mean changing the bit.
While you're involved with that, we can have another look around this cleft.
Look at this!
What have you found?
Bones.
What sort?
Small creature, flesh-eating, judging by the canines. Must have fallen down the shaft.
I can't understand why the floor is so dry. Water must seep into the cave sometimes. How does it get out?
This end seems to be lower.
Yes, here we are, look. A natural gully and drain. Oh, too narrow for us, I'm afraid.
A thin body might just squeeze through. Perhaps your drill master?
Oh, we've done well enough to get Teo as far down as this. He's not very happy underground. He can enlarge the hole for us, though.
Big enough?
Yes, let me have the light. Mel, can you hold on to the safety line?
Yeah. See anything?
Yes. Wait a minute. Oh, that's better. It's another chamber, lined with the same black substance. Cylindrical, with something at the far end. I can't quite see what it is.
Oh, I don't like this here little hole in the hills. You're not going in.
Yes, I'll use the ladder and the safety line. No point in taking risks.
You've taken too many of those already. I thought we were supposed to be drilling into limestone. How do you know that surface will bear your weight?
I don't. So fasten that line securely and stand by to haul me out. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Well, feels solid enough. Teo, can you come in and give me a hand?
No, I cannot. This is deep enough for me.
Mel?
I wish I could think of a reason to refuse, as I can't. Ow!
Are you hurt?
What's happening there?
Missed my footing. Nothing broken. Oh, I was tangled up in that infernal ladder.
Well, take care. It'd be very difficult to haul anyone out of this place.
Yes, I can see that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Bring the light over here, but move slowly.
What have you found?
I'm not clear what it is. Rows of something. Shelves of them. Like a gallery of relics or records.
Records?
Yes, rolls of material with narrow strips with light showing through. You're the teacher of languages. Can you interpret their meaning?
Never seen language marks like this before.
But it is some form of writing.
Yes. What's that on the ledge below?
Sealed containers. Cylindrical, like this chamber. Transparent ends. Well, contents look like seeds.
Oh.
Drawings of the parent plant with more of the hieroglyphs.
Can you recognize any of the plants?
No, not so far. Well, no authority on such thing. Look, isn't that some sort of moss?
It could be. I believe that stuff can live on bare rock in all sorts of climates, from extreme heat to winter snow.
What was that?
Something moving behind the case.
Alive in here? Oh, it's impossible. Shine your light down this way.
What is it?
Oh, one of those little cylinders.
Oh.
Must have been knocked over and rolled across the floor.
Army, what's happening? You need help?
Oh, not now. Thought for a horrible moment we had company down here. Shall we try this side, Mel?
Yes, but don't knock anything else off the ledge or you'll start a panic.
Here! I think this might be the key. These look very much like visual records. Yes, views taken from an enormous height.
By equipment in space?
Well, I think so, but they're not very well defined, as if they couldn't penetrate cloud or rain. Look at this one. The whole Western world spread out like a map.
But it's different. There's a whole lot more sea to the north, more land visible, more islands.
The ice cap's smaller, and much further north. What's on the other side?
Nothing. Try the next one, taken from a lower altitude. The inland sea looks a different shape.
Yes, it's enormous. Look, this one is closer still. You can pick out habitations. Vast ones. But they're not in the right places.
No.
Oh, no, look.
The familiar horrible mushroom. A gigantic blast if those mountains in the foreground are of any size. But how did these records come to be stored here? When was this sealed cylinder buried?
Perhaps aeons ago. Long before recorded history began. The creature who buried it must have reached a high level of technical knowledge, possibly surpassing our own. So long ago, all trace of them was lost.
Until today.
Perhaps some of them saw what was coming and left a record for future life forms in the strongest materials they knew.
Or for survivors to crawl out of the deadly dust and start again.
If that is what happened, it looks as though the survivors failed to find what was left for them. They had to start again, from the beginning.
Nothing left at all after our mining and diving and primary ground cultivation. It can't be possible. Workers in the ruins have found traces of civilization in the bed of the inland seas going back long before recorded history began.
All comparatively recent, 50, 100,000 generations perhaps. I think we must try to imagine a different timescale altogether, measured in millions, even thousands of millions of aeons. The analysts should have tried some potassium-argon tests on that sample we gave them. Of course, they were thinking of new materials, not the remote past.
This timescale you're talking about, wouldn't it upset the whole theory of evolution? Don't they reckon that our earliest ancestors appeared about 75,000 generations ago?
Well, that's what they teach at present. But now they're finding bones in the seabed of creatures who are supposed to have lain buried for endless aeons.
Surely they were fragments of bones of primitive things, as different from these beings as frost from fire. The creatures who left these records with their marvellous pictures of the Earth, they could never have reverted to the swamp or the ocean bed.
Reverted? No. But suppose they were all destroyed. Perhaps all life was destroyed in some unimaginable holocaust, long before the seabed creatures ever evolved. Annihilation.
Brought on by themselves.
Or by a creator who could no longer bear to watch their desperate struggles of the things he had made.
What a terrible thought.
There may even be a cycle. A long, slow cycle repeated over and over again, every million aeons. Life beginning in some simple organism, developing with all the complexity and variation we see today, until eventually a highly intelligent creature evolves, perhaps quite different from us in appearance.
Different in what way?
Who knows? Perhaps the opposite of us in every respect. Hairless, pale skin, perhaps suckling their young like the cattle in the fields, even eating the flesh of other creatures like the savage predators that prey on the rodents.
Ooh.
They must have left a likeness of themselves somewhere in here.
stop there for a moment. Those structures on the skyline, why are they so high? Were they giants in those days?
Or building in restricted space, or keep turning over. Each picture brings us closer to the ground. There! That's what we're looking for. It must be.
No.
It can't be anything else. The male, if that is the male, seems to be bigger than the female.
But the bright colours, the different shapes.
Some form of covering they wore to keep them warm in winter. They have no scales at all. Well, they're not true ancestors of ours. They have, look there, a sort of fur or feathers on their heads.
And only 2 visual organs below the fur.
Only 2, are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. A thatch of fine fur on their skulls, artificial coverings all over the body, except hands and faces, and only 2 eyes. Yet these creatures were masters of the earth, beginning to reach out from their narrow world towards the stars until something destroyed them.
You talked about a cycle endlessly repeating itself. But if you're right, if that could possibly be true...
Well?
Those pictures, that horrible mushroom we know so well, are we about to do what these creatures must have done in their time? Wipe ourselves off the face of the earth and leave no trace of our passage? Are we?
What was that? What's happening? What's going on?
That was Tremor by John Tarrant, with David McAllister as Mel, Teresa Stretfield as Evis, and Spencer Banks as Arnie. Raoul was played by Stephen Thorne, and Teo and the newsreader by Andrew Seacombe. The play was directed by David Johnston.